We'll start with the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Andy will not be here. He's in Texas, but he said he should be back in time for our regular meeting. Public comment.
Well, you guys got a court date Wednesday?
Yeah.
Not for me, it's for Rides.
Yep.
Good luck on that one. I believe you'll win it.
All right. Hearing no public comment, we'll move on with the agenda. I think I'll start off with the sheriff and Augie first. Sheriff, do you have anything that you need to inform us about?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay. I will tell you that Rosillo called me, and you need to know about this. I was going to bring it up under my report, but since we're talking about law enforcement, they would like to have, both he and John would like to have start kicking around dates so that we can get together and start negotiations. I said that I was out of the country, so I said, I texted him back and said that we'd talk about it this morning, and maybe you and the sheriff, Carl, could get together and figure out what you want to do.
John.
Not John.
Bill?
Bill. Bill and,
Both unions are wanting to meet.
Right.
Both union reps, okay.
right.
Not together, separate meetings, or?
No, they don't see a reason not to be together at this point. Unless we
The
don't want to.
initial meeting?
Yeah, the initial meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to sign?
Okay. So, we'll come up with a couple dates and we'll fire it back.
And I did ask Augie if we'd heard anything back. There was some correspondence between the state's attorney on some issues as far as negotiations, and we have not heard anything back as of right now, right, Augie?
Correct.
Okay.
Did you come up with anything?
Should have. Everybody's done it the way we done it, just done it ourselves.
Well, I mean,
There's a gal, and I know the gal out there in Champaign that does some. I'd have to. I wasn't really that impressed with her, but
well, you
I'm
guys
on the other side
determine
of
what you think
Yeah, all right.
what you think is right,
Okay,
or the
okay,
best we can do, okay?
all right.
Is that it, Sheriff?
I've been gathering up some of the copies, I went, trying to get the copies of some local, other counties' contracts.
Agreements.
Yeah,
Okay.
so trying to get them all gathered up, both of them if they got them.
Okay. All right, guys.
I have a question for Jeff.
Yes, please, go ahead.
On the budget, I noticed that correction officer overtime, and dispatcher overtime is at 100% already. Is that because we're short of a dispatcher or correction officer? We still got,
What
what, 5
page
months
is-
left or something?
What page are you on?
4 months left,
I think-
100%?
They didn't put any, that just got changed out. Let me find it.
Yeah,
It was a bulk,
Page
it was a
9.
bulk
Page
overtime
9.
was just a bulk
Right.
deal.
Right, in the past, it was, what is it, 70, what page are you on?
9, page 9.
Okay.
There was a total amount of 70,000 overtime. In the past, it was always, all the overtime came out of one line item. The deputies, the correctional officers, and dispatchers.
What did you change, 70-30 or 60-40? 70-30, way they broke it up, wasn't it?
No, it was just 70,000.
Okay.
But after we did the budget, we went and contacted Don and wanted him to break it down so we would keep track of each of the ones
Yeah, road
overtime.
deputy's fine.
It's a
Well, no.
little confusing.
Yeah, it is.
Next year,
Right.
it'll be
Will-
broke
will be
out,
s-
it'll each have a
If
budget.
you see that third column for correctional officers, it's
Yeah.
a 0. That's how much was budgeted. That's why it shows it's over
Yeah.
100, that's 100%.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta add all of them up, the 28, the 21, and the 41,
Okay,
and that comes up to 62,
about 9,
90,000,
So we're 20 grand over.
correct,
just 20.
20.
We're still, okay. All right, just want
in
to know,
7
we're short,
months.
I was just asking, are we short of correction officers, which we probably are, right?
Well, right now, we're where we're supposed to be.
Okay. But we were short for a while, because of the one that was on suspension and one that resigned or something, right?
No, corrections, we've had, everything's been, resignations and corrections, yeah.
Okay.
But they've been able to kind of keep up. But there's 5 correctional officers now
That's what-
full-time. Right.
All right, I just wanted.
Because we hired an additional one, we gave him money for an additional correctional officer this
It
year.
seemed like we'd always, there for a while, seemed like we'd always down one, so even though we
Right.
had 5 positions, we'd always,
I just got
With
confused,
4
you say 100%, you still have 4 months left in the year or 5. whatever.
And I apologize, well,
That's all right.
no, nobody
Well,
is.
no, I just wanted.
We've come up with a new way that it's gonna be in the future a lot easier. It's a little confusing right
Okay.
now, but ultimately what Carl and Jeff have done is gonna make it a lot
So
better.
really, we're not at 100%, basically.
No, not at,
Okay.
we're actually
We're at 30%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's even better
We're
than
over.
That's a lot better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not
Okay.
100%.
Well,
I just wondered.
Yeah.
but the budget is not, I think if you factor in the final payroll, we're at 66.6% of the year gone by, and I think Jeff's budget is at 67 or 68%, factoring in that last payroll that's not reflected there.
Okay.
So Jeff's taking other steps to mitigate some of those issues the best he can,
What
okay?
about road deputy replacing the one that's had his leg broke? Are you working around that? Clayton?
so far we are, yeah.
Okay.
So I guess what I would like to see is the comparison between 2017 numbers and 2016
Mhm.
numbers, and are we making
That's
improvements
right.
as far as the overtime and overages, or are we the same or worse from where we were? Because that's the real issue, right? That's what we need to get.
We can pull those figures out, maybe I can by Wednesday, okay? I
Okay.
don't know whether I can, but I would try.
Because, I mean, that is our primary friction point with this budget, is always the overtime. And so it is hard to read the way it's currently laid out. And so, you know, in order to figure out what issues we actually have, where, you know, I assume that, you know, it's not apparent here, but I would assume that the road deputies are probably the ones that have the biggest overage and overtime. Would that be
Yeah,
your
you're
best
right.
guess,
They're-
Jeff?
There are more of them, and
Right.
It looks pretty good on the road deputies.
Right, so that's part of it, but so, you know, just an actual, you know, layout, and so if there's something we can do institutionally or overall to fix this problem and make it less of a burden every year, being over 50%, 60%, that's incumbent upon us to do. We gotta be able to know what the issue is.
Right. Well, you know,
Yeah.
last year, in the different meetings that we had with the unions, you know, we had agreements worked out
Right.
to help with the overtime, and that seemed to be working for a while.
And some of that's reflected in this year's budget, right?
Well, that was working good at the end of last year and the first part of this year, and then those agreements that we had with them, they said they
We're not gonna do it anymore.
wasn't gonna do it anymore. So we're back to, at least on the road deputies, they're getting all the overtime.
Well, so
We're not
is that-
able to use any part-time help.
Is that taken out of the contract or within it?
No,
Because
we
in the
just, we
contract,
had,
if they say they're not gonna do it, then that's against what we.
Then we had an addendum agreement.
Okay, that's.
a separate agreement,
Okay,
and, you know, we had it for 6, 8 months, and then they,
And this is October to October, so we've got at least 3 or 4 months of that factored in here. So if we had 12 months of the current status quo, it'd be a lot higher than this, fair to say.
Remember, our fiscal year is December 1st.
so would that be something that you negotiate?
Yes.
with? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, we wanna get something in the contract to
Right.
help with it. Not this side agreement that they can,
Right.
at any time, they, obviously,
They
they
don't do it, okay.
said, I'm not gonna honor it anymore. So, you know, that's just part of the negotiations for the new contract.
Or maybe a sticking point then.
Probably.
Okay, Augie?
I had one more question, Jeff, sorry. Heard you finally got some contractors to show up at the jail and do some work in the last couple of weeks. How's that been going?
well, they're done for the, well, we're waiting on some parts for a lot of stuff right now,
Okay.
like lights and with upper cells and the welding guy, he's fabricating some parts. Of course, that's gotta be all stainless.
Right.
So we got one more cell to do and should have the biggest part of that done. biggest part, that's
Plumbing.
two big, well, plumbing, they're just in and out. Of course, they're pretty good, you can call them and they'll be here tonight or tomorrow. We're getting the plumbing pretty much knocked out, I think.
Okay. Going slowly but surely.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is that with grant money we got, or is this something we got?
well, that's all.
Coming out building green.
But like the lights in the two cell blocks where we had fluorescent lights, they, of course, you give them a broom to clean something up, and they poke it through to, so I put, in rope lights, like string lights,
Mm-hmm.
we're putting them up, we can run them back behind the conduit, stuff that's in there, zip tie them in there, and there's no way they can, well.
It's harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to work at it, plus it's in that more of a silicone type coating,
Yeah.
so there's nothing that can break.
Okay.
I mean, it's just basically a light that we turn on at night that we can go in there and when
Yeah.
we do our checks. And they said in the dark, well, they appreciate that more, but I've gotta give them light.
Anything else? Augie?
Bob pointed out this morning that our armed services flags up on the pole at the courthouse are gone.
I'll address that real quick.
Please do.
The VFW is gonna take them flags out, 'cause evidently them armed flags are not meant to be out all the time, according to the flag rules.
Okay.
So the VFW contacted me, said, hey, if we maintain them, can we take them down, we get you some new flags, and we'll take care of putting them up and taking them down where they need to be. So
Okay.
that's where the flags are.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to know.
Where were those located?
Over on the east
Kinda
side of the
behind the
courthouse
memorial.
by the,
Yeah, by the memorial.
A little bit south of the memorial, on the southwest,
Sorry.
so don't fear.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Which,
World War II, how old do you think I am?
that's gonna go.
The other thing on the agenda, you'll notice we're going to present a vacation calendar for next year. And
Holidays.
Yeah, the holidays. I'm sorry, not vacation. Holidays. Thank you, Carl. We follow what the Supreme Court orders, with the addition of one more, which is traditionally Good Friday. And so I will have the full calendar, holiday calendar, ready for you Wednesday morning. It'll be identical to what you have, but with the addition of Good Friday in there. What else? Kreckman Building, we've showed it once, and no bids received yet, so.
I thought we got,
You talking about just the?
Talking about the
Yeah,
contents.
okay.
Yeah,
I knew
talking
it.
about the content.
Did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're good.
When's the deadline on bids? I forgot.
End of July 28th.
Okay.
So there are no bids on the.
When is the shredders coming? Have you arranged for that yet?
Well, we don't quite have enough to justify having them come in. We have a lot, but we're waiting on the treasurer to look through some of his things. And
Okay.
that pretty much is it.
He has to have that done by this week. Because when we met out there over a week ago, we said 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yep.
Probation's gone through their stuff, because that was the other big pile.
Probation is taken care of, state's attorney's taken care of. So,
We come closer to a master plan on where the required, the documents we've got to hold on to, where they're going and what we're doing with them.
well, let me make sure I understand your question. Each department is responsible for maintaining or disposing of their own records, and they would have different requirements. And so each department has to get permission from Springfield to destroy.
I'm with you there. So
And so,
primary is the state's attorney's office, so have they come to you or anyone about where they're going to put their documents? Like, we've talked a lot about where that's going. Do we have an idea? Do you have an idea where they're going to put their stuff?
yes, probation is upstairs in the north of the courtroom that's been closed off next to the probation office, the newly remodeled probation. state's attorney is looking at going up where the air handling units are, up in that area up there. Treasurer thinks that once he goes through all of his records, the remaining will be able to go to his office. And then, of course, mine pretty well taken care of. So,
Andy had some reservations about using the area the state's attorney was gonna, sound like he's planning on using. Did we get that figured out?
I don't know if they've come to a resolution on that. The comment was it used to hold a lot of people, and John made the comment that more weight per square inch in a box of records than there is a human being, if I can paraphrase.
Yeah.
Some human beings.
So,
Particular density.
Some boxes of
Worse
records.
than that, guys?
it's in motion, so.
Okay.
Yeah, after you go around and you discuss or see something on the agenda, feel free to come back to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dan?
Got an animal meeting tomorrow, so we're still working on getting food for the animals next year. Andrew's got out a lot of whatever she's trying to do, but we haven't heard anything back yet, so we need to get something done before January, because that's when we need it. No more free food. She may have to pay shipping for where she gets it, but, that's, still got time. Camera on the front of the animal shelter is still not working, so.
I got a deal where something else blew out. He said he'd have it done by the end of the week. He had to order something.
Okay, good. And if you've been past the property on Wood Street, it has been mowed. It looks really nice.
Who mowed it?
Secret.
Secret
No,
mowings.
I contacted
Secret
the
meeting?
Temple's Lawn Service, they mowed it, and I'm donating the time, or the money for it, so it hasn't been done. Looks really nice. And I'll
Where's that
keep it
animal?
mowed.
Where's that animal meeting at?
It's, Craigman Building.
At noon?
Oh, yeah, well, so I'll keep it mowed down. Looks good.
What we need is the shelter to take in some goats, and we can just farm them out there.
Well, we could do that, but one died the other day, so got hit by a golf ball. No, he didn't, he died.
A goat?
Yeah, we got goats out at the golf course, it's mowing the
Did
weeds.
you know that?
You didn't
I
know
was
that?
not aware.
They fenced their all,
Those-
some areas in and
Yeah,
put
but
goats
there-
in
there-
instead of
there goes by,
goats.
and
Brave little
letting
goat
their
risking his
legs up in
life.
the air, and,
That's
yeah,
not funny.
I know, it didn't.
Well,
But they are mowing the weeds in the areas that you can't mow.
I have something for you.
Yeah.
When is your next health department meeting?
Third Wednesday this month.
Two things. Number one, we need a recommendation for replacement.
Yeah, we talked, John and I talked about it, McNary, but there are stipulations, has to be a doctor,
That's
it
fine.
has to be in Edgar County.
Okay.
So we don't have a lot of them that would be qualified.
Okay,
There's one I'm thinking of, I may talk to him at the hospital.
okay. The other thing is that the budget is starting to be rebuilt for next year, the budget. And I wondered at the meeting if one of the things is that the health department is usually the last one to get it in.
Yeah, I know she is.
And if you could get her starting to develop her budget now, instead of September or the October, it would really be helpful.
I'll say something to him.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
John?
Nothing.
Carl?
I noticed a few weeks ago, I was driving around after dark at the courthouse, and it seemed like there was like 2 or 3 of those floodlights were out, and last night I went by there, and I just happened to look, and on the south side, there's still lights out, so
The ground lights or
the ground lights. So you might have Bob go up there after dark, see which ones are out, and get the bulbs replaced. I assume that's what it is, just bulbs, but it's, I mean, it's noticeable that parts of the courthouse don't light up at night. That's it.
Thanks, Carl. Phil?
Nope.
It's down to you, bud.
Hey, good news. We got a letter from the state of Illinois that we're back on. That was in paper, so if you read the paper, you know what's up. I didn't get a chance to get hold of Barry today, so I will follow up with him. He was on vacation last week, so try to get the letting going as soon as we can. thought it was nice the state included an apology for how long it took them to figure out an answer, so.
That also includes the beacon light, right?
That is, so that funding covers all of it, and so once tap was back on, so I would expect moving on to beacon light as well.
Okay.
That's
So
all.
you have somebody lined up to put the beacon on, and I mean, that's just,
We bid it out, we've done everything, you know, up to a certain
Just-
point. So
yeah,
basically-
everything's ready to go except
got
for
to the
signing a
point-
check, which we'd like to have the money for.
Right, we got to the point we were told we can't do anything further up until the
Okay.
point that the funding is turned back on, so we're there. So that up until included, the initial, you know, estimate, what we needed to do, what it would cost, 2 other people to come in and say, we'll do it for this much. And then the requisite documents, which you can imagine are a lot when it comes to requesting things from the state. So that's in process. I can't give you a date as far as when that'll be up, but I'm sure we'd like to stop updating the NOTAMs to cover that issue, so. That's all I got.
Okay. I have several things. You guys have taken a look at the agenda. Don't know that there's anything that you might have a question on. We got some trustee appointments, holiday schedule. The execute intergovernmental agreement with the Department of Innovation and Technology is on that infrastructure system at the jail.
Yep.
Right, so that's standard. We won't have an appointment scheduled for rides until the August meeting. And I'll let you know what we're up to there, okay?
What about the IMRF for elected officials? I didn't quite understand how that works. There was,
I'll get that.
okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you for reminding me.
Which one?
Second
Number
page,
9.
or it's the last one on the
Number
first page.
Yeah.
IMRF board passed a resolution recently that said they want recertification or certification of qualification of elected officials to participate in the IMRF every 2 years. They have to recertify. So instead of, I think the counties throughout the state are all over the place on when the particular elected offices were first authorized to be eligible to participate in IMRF. I mean, we've gone back to 1951, then there's something in the 70s, and then it's not just the county, Edgar County, it's the entire state. They want to try to get everybody more on the same page, all the municipalities, because there were some part-time elected positions that there might be some question as far as whether they meet the required minimum hours. And so IMRF said, well, here's how we're going to do it. Every 2 years, you go to recertify. But everybody's going to start by this September 1st, or your participation in IMRF could be jeopardized.
There are no board members on
That's
IMRF.
what I was wondering.
No board members,
No
no.
board members on IMRF. This would directly affect, and it's not an issue for the elected officials. I'm sorry, the county office holders.
It's elected
And it's-
officials.
Right, but I mean, we're I mean,
Yeah,
It affects you, not us.
it affects us, not you,
we're
gentlemen.
dotting all the i's and crossing all the
Absolutely.
t's to make sure that we don't cause any problem for any of the elected officials other than ourselves. Okay?
Did I
Yeah.
get that okay? They just want to,
There's time
they're
for
going to tighten things down a little bit.
Okay, 66.6% of the year is gone after the end of this month. If you add in the last payroll over on this month, expenditures are running about 58%. Tax bills are due, the first installment on 7/21, which is what, next Monday? I can't see.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Friday.
Friday, this coming Friday, okay? Or next, whenever, the 21st. The first distribution for tax monies and taxing bodies should be the week of the 24th, probably late that week. and probably will be at least 55% of their levy. Budget from all the department heads and elected officials will be due the week of 8/21, and then the committees of the whole can start meeting and making sure that we're squared away on that. Augie, is there anything else?
Health insurance.
Health insurance, where
We are on the schedule with Bushu. There's a timeline, and you have to, it can only be 60 days prior to the renewal to fill out the application. And so it's inconvenient for us as far as timing with payroll.
We always,
We're always late, but there's nothing we can,
yeah.
I don't know what else to do about it. And so, but Bushu has us on a schedule. I don't know when the date is when we gotta start taking apps. It's approaching pretty quick.
can I make a suggestion that Mr. Good somehow come to a study session here in the next month or so to give us an idea of what he's typically seen in some of these groups and organizations that they are covering, so that we have some idea what to expect or not expect. I mean, and maybe have Bushu come here at the same time, and maybe they meet beforehand, check their notes, and see what's going on, so we've got a better idea, and obviously probably the sooner the better. They've got several months of experience, and maybe that will help us at least understand where we're gonna be. Carl, do you have anything better to?
No, I think that's a good idea. When is it? Is it October 1st, November
Yes,
1st?
October
October
1st.
1st.
Are you chairman of insurance, Carl? I'm trying to
I'm not on
remember.
that committee.
Okay. I'm on the committee. I don't remember who chairman is offhand.
And the way I understand it,
Andy?
well, as we're putting it out for bid, companies won't bid on it until they know what our expected renewal is gonna be, which they don't have that out yet.
Right.
And
So
of course,
it's
the
just-
wild card issue is what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
I mean, but regardless of that fact, we have to try to do something proactive as far as trying to determine what we could do and fit in with the budget, fit in with negotiations,
Yeah,
et cetera.
I was getting ready to say,
Yes.
with the negotiation, we need to have some idea of what.
So maybe the sooner the better on that.
I've noted it.
Okay, thank you.
Who have been buying the counties on the family plan, health insurance?
There's, what, 2 or 3 that are
Yeah, just a
taking?
few that are taking it.
What's their deductible, you know, and out of pocket? It's, hospital's like 7,000, that's what it's available.
Yeah, if it's an HSA.
I don't have it with me.
Okay, I just wondered.
I don't
Okay,
know.
do we have anything else to come up for the meeting today? Do you have any questions
What's
of me?
the, number 14, adopted prevailing wages for 2017?
That is that's one of Carl's
Yeah,
favorite
Carl can
deals.
address that.
We have to, in order
Some of
to,
those, you'll see what.
we have to
they-
do that on an annual basis. And basically, the board needs to adopt a prevailing wage provision or policy, or they need to go out in lieu of that and have a study done and determine that wages shall be this because of that.
That's what somebody knows.
So it's something we do on an annual basis.
So basically, we just have to, since for anything involving state money, you have to pay prevailing wage to
That's
any
correct.
contractor, we have to have a list of what prevailing wage is. So
Right.
Schools, city, and everybody has to do that.
Everybody has to
Costs
do it.
more, costs everybody more money.
You know, or in lieu of that, you have to go out and do a study and determine that the prevailing wage for your particular county is not correct, which is, at any rate, that's what that is, John.
Okay, I figured it was along those lines, thought I'd ask.
No problem. I should have mentioned it, quite frankly. Okay? I take a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
John seconds, and all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We're adjourned, gentlemen.